Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Aspire session on preparing for text profile. I am Karuna Kashyap, your host for this event. Before starting the session, I would like to take a couple of minutes to tell you about Aspire. Aspire is a one-stop solution for aspirants of various professional qualification. We cater aspirants of 7 courses, which are CA, CFA, CS, CMA, CPA, FRM, and ACCA. Aspire provides help to aspirants in two ways: information and services. Information on our website is curated in a way that helps students in preparation in a holistic manner, from eligibility criteria to all about the course, the future opportunity available, as well as teachers to be selected, the revision links from YouTube that can be referred to study, and the mock papers that can be attempted and available on website. We have numerous blogs which help and provide guidance in your study planning as well as planning your revisions. Our services include one-to-one mentorship and webinar and workshop program. One-to-one mentorship. We have a team of 40 mentors who have passed the same journey as yours with the flying colors. Our minimum charges on one-to-one mentorship ensures and provide guidance whether it is related to what career is best for you, how you should proceed with your course or studies, or how to deal with failure or disappointments. Webinar and workshop program. We conduct various webinars on key topics which are free of cost. Our workshop, like the interview combo workshop, happen periodically and are there to bridge the gap of knowledge and information. Our YouTube channel has all these webinars and workshop recorded and uploaded in case you missed them. As well as we are starting our podcast in the month of March, wherein you will get various speakers talk about their journey and struggles they came across and how they overcome each one of them to be successful. You can visit our website to know more about us. This is the fourth session of our series of 9 sessions, where when we will be preparing you in a wholesome manner to give your artificial interviews. The webinars are free of cost and will be conducted on Saturdays and Sunday at 12 o'clock. To stay updated, you can join using registration link as well as join WhatsApp group to get daily updates. Although the webinars are free of cost, in case you want to avail our after services such as CV reviewing, LinkedIn reviewing, access to our ebook, which has questions from frequently asked HR questions, text question, as well as their answer along with what to study and how to study for interview. We will also try help you to get referrals in Big Six firms. Along with our vast after services, certificate of participation will be given to those who avail our paid workshop. To avail the same, you can drop in a message or you can fill the form. Now, I would like to introduce you to the speakers of this session. Keshav Gupta and Dhwaj Jain. Keshav Gupta. He was born and raised in Delhi and is currently pursuing Chartered Accounting and MCom. He is an ambitious, enthusiastic, and unshakable individual who is always on the lookout for fresh opportunities and possibilities that would catalyze his growth. He has worked on tax filing, advisory, and litigation for Diwan P. N. Chopra and Company's Direct and International Taxes team for a year. He also worked in the audit department at R. Gopal and Associates, where he got the opportunity to team audit a government Maharatna corporation, an NBFC MFI, and a chemical exporting company, among other works. He has also spent a year at a prominent educational institute teaching commerce students. Our second speaker is Dhwaj Jain. He is a chartered accountant and currently working as an associate for around 2 years at PwC, specializing in mergers and acquisitions. He had worked on numerous assignments, which include the acquisition and merger of the company internal restructuring, IFSC structure evolution, advisory concerning special purpose acquisition company structure, tax due diligence, and implementation of the merger. During his articleship, he was with RSM in direct taxation, where he was involved in the preparation of computation of income, handling assessment, providing advisory services, filing of returns, etc. Before that, he was with Nanji and Company LLP in the indirect taxation, where he was involved in the preparation of GST returns and providing advisory services. Now, I would like to request our speakers to take over the session.
First of all, thank you, Karuna, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you to everyone who has joined us today. So, I guess you all know the topic that is interview workshop. And here we will be talking about preparing for the direct tax profile. Aspire has already taken a workshop for the audit profile, and this is a second kind of workshop in this session, the session 4, where we'll be talking about the tax profile. So, Dhwaj, do you want to start?
Yeah. So thank you, Karina, for the warm introductions. I would also like to thank all the participants who have joined the call. So it would be easy if anyone has a question on a particular slide, we can take it at that point of time only, rather than getting at the end of the session. So basically, what is tax? So somebody won't be confused. I assume that there are a lot of participation who have just cleared C or about to clear articleship, or you are about to clear inter CA. So what is tax? So tax basically deals with two types of taxations in India. One is direct taxation and another is indirect taxation. So generally, whatever we buy goods from the market, open market or supermarket, wherever it's from, so they levy a charge to that is indirect taxations, which everyone has to burn, and it is paid by the government by through an intermediate party, that is third party. So prior to 2017, there were various taxations in India like VAT, CST, service tax, and various other multiple small tax depending upon state to state. Now all these taxes are subsumed under one. Basically, they deals with in goods and services, there are basically five main bracket at the rate of 0%, 5%, 12%, 80, and 28. There are other nominal rate of tax as well, but these are the broad rate of tax which the government deals with. What is direct taxation? Direct taxation is directly borne by the individual persons depending upon the slab rates, which have to be paid by the individual persons directly to government. So there are basically slabs provided by the government at each according to their slab, they have to pay the tax to the government. That's it. If you have any question, you can just write on chat or maybe uh, raise your hand. Keshav, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I guess you have nicely explained the concept of tax. In brief, tax is just a mandatory fee, or we can also say it as a financial charge that is levied by the government. So, as Dwaj already told that there are two types of taxes: income tax and that is the direct tax part. Also, we used to have wealth tax in India, but now it is abolished, and the indirect tax part, which includes GST and customs as of today. So tax has always been in India through ancient times. There have been references of taxation in Manusmriti and Arthashastra. So, like from last 2000 years, taxation has always been there in India. So there is a basic difference between direct tax and indirect tax. That is, that in direct tax, the incidence and the payment of tax is done by the same person, whereas in indirect taxes, incidence is on one person and the payment is by another person. So that is the basics of tax. So now we will go to the next slide, and there we will talk about the interview part. So how to prepare it? We have just prepared a brief summary for you guys, so that you can understand what all will be the type of work you will do in direct tax and indirect tax, and a brief differentiation between both of them. So you can just go through it fastly, and then we can start about regarding the interview process.
So just to add on, indirect tax has to bear by each and every person, irrespective of the class which they belong to. However, direct tax has to be paid by the person only if income of a particular person exceeds the prescribed limit. I would not like to go into detail what are the tax limit and all, but just for your reference, the prescribed limit exceeds. If your income exceeds the prescribed limit, then you have to pay tax to the government.
Radhika, next slide, please. Yeah. So we will start about the what kind of work will you get in direct tax, and what will be the advantages and disadvantages of it. So for see, firstly we will talk about what all you have, like if you are selected in direct tax. So what all work will you be getting there? See, in the big fours, there will be differentiation in the direct tax teams also. Like you will get corporate tax team which will handle taxation of individuals and firms. There will be a separate team again which will handle the international tax part. So that all will be clubbed under the direct tax part. And in the mid-sized firm and the small firms, usually there will be a single department for the direct taxation and international taxation if that kind of work will be there in that firm. So see, direct for me, direct tax has three parts. One will be the filing part, or the that will include the filing of return, filing of forms. Second will be the litigation part, that will include the assessments and the appeals. And third and the last part will be the part where you all will have to advise the clients. That is the advisory part. So these will be the three types of work that you will have to do in each and every team, be it the corporate tax team, be it the individual tax team, or be it the transfer pricing team. Okay, so there are few pros and cons of direct tax team. Firstly, it is a settled law. So your seniors and even you, your teachers, they all have a basic understanding and a in-depth knowledge of the direct tax law. We will talk about the indirect tax law, it is currently in process. So even the seniors are many times not aware or not exactly clear about the provisions or the amendments which come recently in the indirect tax law. Secondly, in the direct tax team, you will always get a chance to make submissions for appeals and assessments. So, in that way, this work will be more and more closer to the legal advisory team, or the work which lawyers do in general. You can also get chances to go with your seniors to the ITAT, or the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, or the CIT, to represent clients with your senior. Dhwaj, will you add?
Yeah. As Keshav rightly said, that if you are hoping to work in Big Four, the Big Four have multiple departments for direct taxation. So basically for individuals, so basically in Big Four there are 3 to 4 types of teams which deal with the direct taxation. One is mergers and acquisition team, one is corporate and international taxation team, one is financial service team. So all these entities have different role depending upon the client. And last one is global mobility service team. So the one team which cater only to the individual return of income, that is global mobility services. Another is mergers and acquisitions. They not only deal with the preparation or computation return, but they try to do all the restructuring of the company, maybe internal restructuring of the acquisition of the company. The another is financial service. So they basically deal in private equity firm, venture capital firms. So they provide sole service for the private equity and venture capital fund. They file their returns, they file their assessment as well. Even they do provide advisory to private equity and venture capital. And the last one is corporate international CIT team. They mostly deal in for the corporates who are big giants, like maybe it would be listed company and big private company as well. However, if I say if you walk into mid-sized firm or maybe a low mid-sized firm, you will get a ground level work from the scratch. You will be told to prepare computation of income from your side. You will do your accounting as well. You will get a basic knowledge. I can say from a ground level, you will be able to do all the filing of returns. However, If you work into big fours, there are multiple issues which goes around the law from through which you will be able to take advice from the senior lawyers to take their view. So that basically depend on what's your future goal is. Like if you want to open the big four, if you want to open your own firm, then I would suggest you would work with mid firm that so that you can get multiple roles in one hand. And as Keshav said, there are pros and cons for both direct tax as well as indirect tax. There is a lot of scope in international taxation. However, uh, the only one issue I can say is that international doesn't have any precedent as such. It depends on authorized dealer from bank to bank. If you want to provide any advice pertaining to international taxation, you have to always consult with the authorized dealer, which will guide you or which will be your sole person responsible if anything goes wrong. And coming to the cons part, yeah, you don't have hang on the financial statement. As in audit, you go through the entire financial statement, you go run through each and every minute details in details. However, in direct taxations, we mostly care about the aspect of the financials. And another point is there is no client facing department. So usually prior to like I can say COVID, what there was a face to face assessment. However, since the last 3 years they come up with the e-faceless assessment. So nowadays there is very minute chance to go visit the department and have a face-to-face conversation with the assessing officer. And work will depend on organization to organization and basically yeah, team to team whether it would be hectic or not. It depend on uh, each company to company. There is no standard law in any of the organization that work would be low, moderate, and anything like that.
So yeah, that sums up a part of the direct tax. Karuna, can you go to the
Uh,
indirect tax slide?
if anybody has any question pertaining to direct taxation in detail, you can reach out to us or you may ask now as well.
I guess they don't have questions regarding direct tax. So we can start with the indirect tax part. You all can ask the questions in the end also. So indirect tax now currently has two parts. Usually one is GST and second is the customs. Earlier we used to have many other laws, but after coming of GST, all the other laws have been subsumed in GST. So, see, in GST, you will get monthly deadlines are there. So, for example, on 10th, on 28th, on 24th. So, you will get the monthly deadlines of GST for filing of returns. Other than that, the litigation part of GST is building up, and now few notices have been started going through, but it will take time for the litigation part of the GST to mature itself. So yeah, it has a great scope for the future in IDT because your seniors also have started reading GST after 2017-18. So for them also this law is new. And but if we talk about income tax, they have, for example, if a person have been in practice or in job for 20 years, so they will have experience of 20 years of income tax. But when we talk about GST, everyone has started reading the same law after coming of GST. So it will be beneficial for everyone, and you also can build a great career in this. And secondly, during articleship, you will easily get time to manage work and studies because only during the deadlines you will have to focus on the returns or other kind of work. But like for example, between 24th to 10th, you will get easily time easily to study. So Dhwaj, will you tell them
Yeah.
about?
So one of the disadvantage of only doing computation returns that once you do return of any of the company for particular 2 to 3 months, it will be monotonous for you because you will be knowing that companies engage in this line of business, and you are already aware that this company only deals in two bracket income, two bracket business and all. So you won't be able to apply your own mind because there will be a proper template under which you have to fill all the data. So once you do the particular entity, a particular group of company for a particular month, you get a hang on of that entity because there will be usually there are no unique transactions in every month. So whatever you want to do, the company will provide the data to you. You just do some RICO sort of thing, and then you will just file the return as per the government actually government template. So you may think that there is a monotonous work because what you are doing is like GST upon due date. You have to file this GST upon return. There is no new work coming to your. Yeah, if you are getting any advisory sort of thing, then it would be very helpful for you because the advisory requires some brainstorming of work, and accordingly you can plan. Accordingly you can advise the client how to do all these things. If you are doing GST, if you're providing services in particular sector, then maybe some certain issues or that you can develop and you can provide advice in relation to that. Yeah, but assessment sort of thing, there are very little, and usually in the future it will be developing, and then you will get a lot of assessment work as well.
Yeah. So after this, we will start with the interview preparation part. So that was all the basic part for the direct and indirect tax. Now we will start with the interview preparation and what type of questions will be asked in interview, and from where and how you will have to prepare for the interview. So firstly, we'll start with the interview for the profile of direct taxation. So in the profile of direct taxation, firstly, the material which you have to refer will be your intermediate. I'm talking about the articleship. You will have to refer your intermediate book. And for the people who are going for job interview, will have to refer the Full Income Tax Act. So, when we talk about articleship, you will be asked basic questions regarding, for example, regarding house property. So, there were recently, 1 or 2 years back, there were amendments in house property in the section 54, where you can now get the advantage of two house properties, or even in the income part, where you can treat two house properties as self occupied. Other than that, you will be asked from the all the heads of income, for example, capital gains, and so you can be asked a very small question regarding 112A or 111A, regarding the tax rates of both these sections, or even the grandfathering concept, where that was regarding when the capital gain tax was introduced on long term capital gains on of listed shares. And that there are recent amendments in the crypto taxation. So as you all know that now the digital assets, or which we call the cryptocurrencies, will also be taxed. So the taxation on gains on of them. Other than that, a very favorite question comes from the TDS section, and one of the most favorite section will be the taxation of TDS on payment to professionals. So that will be 194C will also be there, 194J, 194IB. All these sections are really important for the interview, because see, these are the sections on which the interviewer is also working on day-to-day basis. The interviewer won't ask you something which he is not familiar with, or he is not going through daily. So these are the sections which come very handy. 192, even the taxation, the TDS on salaries. Other than that, there will be questions from Chapter 6A. ATC can be a favorite question. You could be asked about any 5 ways you can invest to get advantage in ATC or ATD. So these even ATG, there has been recent amendment in ATG also in the current budget. So before going to any interview, remember to just go through the budget and the recent amendment in taxation, so that because these are the questions that will be asked from you. And also you can just go if you are going for the international taxation interview, just at least go through what is international taxation, what are the methods of transfer pricing, what is arm length pricing, and a basic of CBCR master filing. These all things will help you in the interview, because at least the interviewer would get an idea that you know at least something about the international taxation.
So to add on, you should basically go understand whatever you have studied in the direct taxation. You should be thorough with that. Even recently, there is a two way of taxation for individual. There is an old regime and new regime. So recently in the budget also there is a concept of another new regime. So you have to that's you should know the difference between all these aspects. What
Dhwaj, I guess there's a issue with your connection.
through which you should be able to provide your answer. You should be confident when providing such answer. If you don't know any answer, you can tell them directly. I don't know. I don't recollect any expert in relation to that, and I will get back to you after going through this concept. For indirect taxation, you should be aware about the uh, rate of tax and basic rate of tax and the reverse rate of tax.
Again, I guess his internet is having some issues.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. You're audible now.
Can you? Yeah. So what I was saying that you just need to go through whatever you have studied in the inter CA, and then only you can go for the any of the interview. And also read about the company. If you're going to Big Four in a particular specialized department, then you must study that aspect of relation. That if you are going to mergers and acquisition, you should know what is merger. If you don't know the basic meaning of what is merger and what you are supposed to do, then they might think that you don't know the basic meaning of merger, then you won't be selected. So you just go through the basic thing of it, and then it would be easy for you to connect any of the interview.
Yeah, then we will go to the indirect part. So for the indirect tax interview, so if you are going for GST team, so you will be getting questions from exemptions. You will be getting questions from ITC. You will be getting questions from e-way bill. Other than that, just go through the block credit part. The interviewer can ask you, for example, he can ask you if you are paying for the gym membership of your CEO, then will this credit will be allowed? Or you can also get questions regarding the restaurant bills or the taxi services which are given to the employees. Other than that, you can get questions on RCM. RCM is one of the favorite topics of interviewer. You can get questions like your firm is paying an amount to the lawyers. Will it how what will be the taxation for that? So these will be the common questions because GST intermediate is limited to the procedural part of it and not the appeal part or the assessment part of it. So you will always get questions from RCM, ITC exemptions in the interview. Also, if you are going for the customs interview, go and read through it. What is Customs Act? What are the duties? And for example, the basic custom duty. What are you don't have to remember the rates or anything like that, but at least go through the parts of duty. Just download some CA final material from any of the Telegram groups and go through the index. What are the kind of stuffs which are in customs, so that see you will always have the option to say that I do not know this answer. And or one of the most favorite line of CA intermediate students is that this was not taught in our CA intermediate exam. But that's what everyone says. If you have to be out of the box, be selected from that handful students, because remember the indirect tax profile requires very less students. Sometimes only one or two articles are hired in this team. So give some more time to your interview, like you give some time to exams, and study for it so that you can clear it. Dhwaj?
Yeah, so that's it from the IDT perspective. Keshav has rightly covered all the aspects from the IDT point of view. You should be aware about uh, invoices, RCM, different types of invoices, debit note, credit note, who can raise credit note, whether the buyer can raise a credit note or not. This all the expert you should cover before going to the interview, and it depends on person to person. You can go for either direct taxation or indirect taxation, whichever you like the most. Because some people think that direct taxation is a very vast topic, is a very huge, and in terms of act as well, and in terms of knowledge as well. And however, if you think indirect taxation is better, then you can go for indirect taxation. There is no thumb rule that you should go for indirect taxation only. Some may like, some may not like, and even for direct taxation, some may like, some may not like. But if you go to direct taxation, there are multiple opportunities. You can get it from the post qualification as well. That's it from my end. If anyone has any question, you can write on chat or raise your hand or unmute yourself as well.
If anyone has question, he or she can unmute himself. Else, if there are no questions, then Karuna, I guess we can wrap up the session.
Yes, I have a question from both of you that uh, can company claim ITC on gym membership paid for CEO?
No, this comes under the block credit, and no ITC can be claimed on this.
Okay, thank you.
Any question from any participants? I think
I
there
think
are
they
no
don't
more
have any
questions.
questions. Then I
No.
guess we can wrap it, Dhwaj.
Yeah, sure we can.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for coming in this webinar. I would like to thank Team Aspire, Radhika, Karuna, and even Dhwaj for being a wonderful co-speaker with me. And thank you all of you for joining and being till the end of the webinar.
Thank you
Hope to see
guys
you.
for
Yeah.
participating in event. For accessing our after services, please feel free to contact us on LinkedIn or Instagram or in WhatsApp. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
everyone.
everyone.